Hi, this is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Here's what's actually wild. The US government is gearing up to allocate over $100 billion to ICE, the largest increase in immigration enforcement in history. Ever notice how we often hear about budget cuts to vital services like Medicaid or education, while this kind of funding gets pushed through without much public outcry? What if I told you that this funding could cover 343 times what Elon Musk spent to influence the 2024 elections, or 568 times the cost of erasing all US public school lunch debt? This is honestly crazy, but also deeply concerning. We're looking at a plan that not only ramps up mass deportations, but also leads to the construction of hastily built, inhumane detention centers. It's a stark example of how the government can prioritize punitive measures over the well-being of its citizens. It's absurd and unfair that while essential services are being cut, funding for a system that disproportionately affects vulnerable communities is being supercharged. But here's the thing. We can't let despair take hold. History teaches us that the most significant changes often come from the most challenging circumstances. This moment calls for us to come together, to see these big problems not as insurmountable walls, but as puzzles waiting to be solved. Let's pivot to solutions. Imagine if that $100 billion was redirected towards building a more equitable society. We could hire enough teachers and nurses to end national shortages, invest in mental health services, or create a robust social safety net for those in need. Instead of funding mass deportations, we could be investing in community programs that foster inclusion and support. We've seen progress before, and we can do it again. Grassroots movements, advocacy, and community organizing have the power to reshape our policies. Just look at the strides made in recent years regarding healthcare access and climate action. These victories remind us that collective action can lead to real change. So, let's harness our energy and channel it into action. Engage in conversations, support organizations that fight for justice, and hold our leaders accountable. Together, we can push back against these unjust policies and advocate for a future that prioritizes compassion over cruelty. In closing, let's carry hope in our hearts and determination in our actions. We are the architects of our future, and while the obstacles may seem daunting, remember, every great movement started with a small group of passionate individuals willing to stand up for what's right. Let's be those individuals, and together, we can build a brighter, more inclusive future for all. This is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Peace. You can sign up for Dan by scanning this QR code.